Yo, what is up, you guys? APJ here, and I'm back again with another profile. And today, I got the spice for you. Now, I've been cooking with this deck ever since Suda came out. I've been working on this list for a very long time now. This is the list I've been playing ever since the last profile I dropped. This list has been amazing. Ever since Dweller got banned, this list is crazy. So I'm going to show you the 60 card spice right now. Long and awaited deck profile for you guys. So for the main deck, 60 cards like I said. We still play all the names and max them out. This is standard in every single tier deck. If you don't max out these names, you're doing something wrong. This is your main engine of the deck. Obviously, all these cards are insane, and I wish I could play all of them at 3, but unfortunately, these are at 1. But yeah, you need all these. They're good mills and good draws. Next, Fiendsmith cards. Because they're still broken in this deck, even in the trap version. So we still play the 3 Engraver, the Lacrima, and the Lurie. But Engraver in this deck is broken because it's a 1-card Winda plus mill. Usually it mills 2 when you do that, but it could mill more. But yeah, Engraver is broken in this deck because you have 1-card Winda access with this, and I'll show you that combo later on. But yeah, the Fiendsmith cards are just too insane. They give you follow-up. They give you ways to break boards going second. They give you more extenders going first. They're good mills. They're good draws. They're overall amazing for the deck. They act as extra extenders and ways to mill from your deck. So yeah, nothing bad about those cards. And then I'm playing 2 Shufflers in the main deck. These cards get more value in the trap version because you have access to Needlebug's Nest more often, so you can mill way more cards than you usually would in like the normal combo version. So these cards get way more value in this deck. They actually are good discards for like your paleo traps too, like Dynamiscus and stuff like that. But in general, they pair really well with the trap version of the deck. So yeah, I like the 2 Shufflers in the main. Usually these cards are the first cards to get sided out going second though. But game 1s, you want to have them in deck because they're really nice interruptions. They also pair well your field spells, so give you that extra pop whenever you want. And then I play 2 Shaddoll monsters. So play Shaddoll Beast and Hell Shaddoll Hollow, my bad. Hell Shaddoll Hollow. But Hell Shaddoll Hollow is really good because it's a Fiend monster. So with the Engraver combo, when you use Engraver's effect, you summon Lurie with Tract, right? Then you go Requiem, you Requiem, summon the Lacrima. Then you dump Engraver, then you use Engraver's effect to summon back. Then you use those 2 monsters to link summon into Sequence. Then you use Sequence to make Aerial Eater. Then you use Aerial Eater to dump this because it's a Fiend. Then you mill 2 cards because you'll have Sequence and Aerial Eater. Then you can use Aerial Eater plus Sequence to go into Sprint dump Merly fuse with this into Winda. And that's how 1 Engraver is Winda because of this card. So, but in general, this is a really good mill in your deck because it'll mill usually 2 or more cards. So really good. And obviously Beast, this is probably the best Shaddoll because it's a free +1, and whenever you draw it, it helps you access Winda, and it's also Dark Monster in general, so you can make Mud Dragon with it. So both of them are really good. And then I play additional Fiends for the deck that I can send with Aerial Eater, which are Shyama and Backjack. Shyama is broken, let me tell you. Shyama is broken in this deck because you can pop your own rollbacks that you drew and special summon it, and then pop like a Trivy Karma and pop one of their back row, or pop one of your other back row, like a Sulik. Let's say you drew like Foolish, like you have Foolish Burial, rollback, Trivy Karma, and Sulik in hand. Like that's one of your bad hands, obviously, but Foolish can unbrick that because of Shyama. So you just send that, you pop your rollback, then you use Shyama effect, pop your Trivy, pop your Sulik, you trigger both, and now you're still in the game. You have a level 6 that you can abuse with your Engravers as well to make Pilgrim Reaper. So overall, this card is amazing. It helps you trigger Kaleido Heart too, because Kaleido Heart is a Fiend, so you can pop that, trigger it, summon this back. So that's nice. And then Blackjack, half of your deck is trap cards, so this card is usually always hitting a trap. But same as a Shuffler, just usually get sided out post side deck game 2s and 3s because it's not that good going second. So yeah, but overall it's just another really strong mill to have access to in the deck. And that's it for all the monsters that I play. Very small count of monsters, as you can see. I think it's only, this is what, 6 plus 5 plus another 9. That's, I think, 20 monsters. So for the spells, I play only a small amount of spells, one field spell. So in this deck, yeah, you still only need one field spell. Multiple field spells don't come up in this version of the trap deck because this card is not a good draw, and you rather search it, obviously. But in this deck, you don't need it because you have rollbacks and stuff like that to... you have rollbacks, you have Solix to get your search if you need a Rhoda. You have rollbacks to interrupt your opponent. If you need like a pop, you could just Karma Cannon them instead, which is just better. So yeah, only one is fine, but it's still a really strong card to play, so definitely don't cut it at all. And then one Scream. This card is nice to have in the deck because it's a free send off of Collateral Heart when you pop it to search a free trap card. So I really like that aspect of the deck. I really like that aspect of it. It's not a good draw, which is why I don't play multiples in this version. Because you don't want to draw with like a ton of traps. It just doesn't do anything. You want to draw with a tier card, obviously. But only one of it is perfectly fine. Usually this card gets sided out too post-side deck because it's not good going second. But yeah, I like the one in the main deck just for that play where you can go field spell, pop Kaleido, dump this, search Sulik. That's still a really good play, so yeah, I like the Scream for that. And then obviously the God card, Grass. If you ever resolve this card, you win the game. Not much to say there. It's just a crazy card for your deck. And I play one Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial has way more targets in this deck, actually, because it has the Backjack, Shyama, any of the Shadals, any of the Shufflers, and any of the tier cards. So, really good in this deck. Usually this card never gets sided out. 3 Foolish Goods, my favorite card. My favorite spell card in the deck because it gets you whatever you want. It can get you rollback, which is why I play 3 of it in general because it has access to rollback. But it can get, it's a starter card. It's a board breaker because you can dump Black Oat Labs, you can dump Trivy Karma. So overall, it's a really strong card for your deck. And usually I side out 2 of these going second because this card is not good to draw multiples going second. Obviously, it's once per turn. But game ones, I want to have maximum consistency, which is why I main deck 3 of it. So, yeah, all the Foolish cards are really good in this deck, so you max them out. And then the last of the spells I play are 2 Tantalizing Tune. So I really like this card, but the issue is with this card is that it plays into Ash Blossom really hard, and it's once per turn only, so that's why I only play 2, because I don't want to draw... I don't want to draw Tune off of Tune. That would be really bad, so that's why I only play 2 of this card. But it's a really good card, and it's has a cool graveyard effect too, where you can like keep abusing your Fiendsmith and Paradises, keep abusing your Rise to Full Height, stuff like that. Like all your one-off traps that you banish, so like Paradise, Rise, Trivy Karma, Black Oat, all those, it could put those back, which is nice. So I really like this card a lot for that secret effect too. People forget about that. So that's a niche thing that this deck has over like other Fiendsmith decks, is that it could keep abusing Paradise over and over again because of that card. And then I played 2 Tracked. So in my other list, I think I played 3 of this. Or no, in the trap version, I played only 1 of this. But in the 60 card version, I think you need 2 because you don't want to mill this card. You don't want to mill your only copy, but it's also just in generally good follow-up to have. So even if you draw this, like, because this deck gets a lot of turns. Since you're Rise to Full Hiding, since you're Karma Canning your opponent, you're going to get another turn. Your opponent's going to get another turn. So having a second one of this in deck is nice to have. So definitely 2 Tracked because it's still a really good starter card. Still 1-card combo for this deck. And then that's it for the spell cards. I only play like, I think, 11 spells. Let me see, 3, 6, 9, yeah, 11. So the rest is traps. Play 29 traps. Literally half my deck is traps. One of them being obviously the Paradise to pair with the Fiendsmith stuff. It's just free real estate for this deck when you play Fiendsmith cards to have access to this. But like I said, you can also put it back with Tune's effect, which is really broken, like a really broken interaction. Whenever you use this effect, you just put it back on the bottom and then dump it again with Lacrima. That's really good. So definitely 1 Paradise. 1 Trivy Karma, free plus when you do Millet. It gets you access to your field spell, gets you access to Scream if you ever need that. But usually you're searching field spell with this, so really good. 1 Black Oat Lass as a board breaker option, but in general has a really good disruption when you do Millet, so really solid card overall. 1 Rise to Full Height to protect your guys, to protect your board, to protect your life points, to protect your window. It comes up a lot, not gonna lie, so definitely having 1 is good because you can always put it back if you need another one. And then 1 E-Burst because this card is one of the best board breaker cards in the deck by far. There's so many games where just this card alone in the graveyard was enough to win. Obviously, we're copying a rollback, But just this alone was enough to win because like having a nuke for everything, not just monsters, but spells and traps too, is so broken. So yeah, this card helps me crack so many boards going second when I'm just milling. And I mill this, and then I mill again, and I mill rollback. I'm just like, oh my god, I'm living. I'm breaking everything with this. This card is just insane, and you have to play it. It's definitely the worst card in the deck to draw, but it's way too powerful not to play. And then I play the other good, and then all the other rest of the trap cards are 3. I play only 3-ofs from the rest of this point. So these are only 5 1-of traps that I play. These are like the 1-ofs that are also good mills. But the other ones that are also good mills that are at 3 are 3 Sulic. This card's insane because it's the best interruption that's searchable in the deck. And it's also one of the best mills in the deck because it's Roto when you mill it. So really strong card. Definitely mandatory 3-of. I never side this card out ever. And also like you could do the cool tricks with tracked with this, like still where you can have this in hand and tracked in hand, and you can use track to add Lurry, discard this for effect, so this will still trigger such a tier monster like tier cash or whatever because you have the targeting graveyard already, and then you can normal Lurry and continue playing and then still get your effect with this, which is really nice. And then 3 rollback, the best mill in the deck by far. This card is absolutely cracked. There's so many good cards that you can copy in this deck with rollback, as you'll see with the other traps that I play, but yeah. The best ones are obviously Karma Cannon and E-Burst. Those are like the ones that you really want to always copy, like this and Karma Cannon. But in general, you can copy like Needlebug's Nest, you can copy Dynamiscus for a discard outlet, like so many cards you can copy, so this card is absolutely crazy. You definitely want to play 3 because you want to mill it as fast as possible. And then you play for the Paleos, only 3 Dynamiscus and 3 Morella. So only these are the best ones because this gets you access to any trap card in the deck, meaning rollback. It can get you Trivy Karma, it can get you Select 2 Search, it can get you the E-Burst if you already have rollback, it can get you Rise to Full Height if you need to protect your life points. So Morella's overall really good, but when you do draw those cards, Dynamiscus is better because it gets them out of your hand. And this discards for effect as well, so you could do like same track plays that you could do in this deck. You could do it with Dynamiscus instead, so and you can banish a card at the same time. So, and sometimes this is just better than like popping cards or shuffling cards because you rather just banish the problem instead of shuffling the problem or popping the problem. So, yeah, both these cards are really good at 3. They're extenders when you have your other trap cards too to help you make Toad as well. So, and they're also level 2s, so you can just instantly use one of these to directly go into Sprint. You don't have to bridge into Sprint in other ways. You could just use one of these, go into Sprint that way. So that's really nice as well. But a lot of people forget that Merly, let me show you Merly real quick. A lot of people forget that Merly is a level 2 Aqua monster. So there's some plays where you just have one of these on the board and you have a way to Rhoda a tier monster. So let's say you dump Sulic or you activate Pearl Rhino. You could search this. Normal this, effect mode 3, doesn't matter. Then use a Paleo on this to go into Toad. A lot of people forget that, so that's another play that you can do, which is why searching Merly in this deck comes up a lot more because you play these cards. So that's another reason why I play these as well. It gives you access to Toad. But yeah, overall these cards are really strong, and they're not once per turn, which is another reason why I maxed them out as well. And then probably the best trap cards in the deck are 3 Needlebug's Nest. This card mills 5. Usually you'll hit something with this because you have so many good mills in this deck. Like all your traps are good mills because you play rollback, and most of your monsters are good mills. Only the spells are not good mills, but even some of the spells are fine. Like sometimes Tract is good to mill because you could use its Fuse effect, and sometimes Tune is good to mill because you can use its Put Back effect. So even then, like probably like 80 to 85% of your deck is good mills, so this is always going to hit something at least. Whether if it hits something good or not, it is what it is, but this card isn't once per turn, so drawing multiples of this or using it and then roll back copying it is also broken. Like this card is amazing. And then your best breakers are, the best breaker in the deck is by far 3 Karma Cannon, and I don't just play 3 of this, I play 6 of it. Actually, I lied, I play 9 of it. I play 9 copies of Karma Cannon, but I also play 9 copies of Needlebug's Nest. So yeah, that's why this deck is so crazy, is because it doesn't have just 3 Karma Cannon, it doesn't have just 3 Needlebug's Nest, it has 9 of them, which is crazy. So Karma Cannon, as I said, best board breaker in the deck by far, not much to be said there. there's so many cool plays you could do with this too, because like if you have a face-up window, you can Karma Cannon yourself, get back a Paleo. Now the window's down, so you can freely play on your turn. So this is a nice way to turn off window as well against you when you are trying to play your turn. So yeah, but these cards are insane, especially Trapaholic. This is a crazy addition to the deck. The fact that Trapaholic pops one of your cards actually comes up so much. So when you do draw like your rollbacks, or when you do draw Solix, this is another way to trigger it, and you don't have to keep them in hand. You could just set them on the board and have this live, which is just crazy. And this card, a lot of people get confused with it, like saying, oh, so you can activate that trap anytime. I'm like, yeah, as long as I have 3 traps in the graveyard, I can activate that trap at any time I want. So this card is crazy. I just wish it wasn't once per turn. I wish none of these were once per turn, but these cards are what get you there. Like, these cards are like what makes this deck like really consistent, because it has 9 copies of every normal trap in the deck, and 9 copies of Karma Cannon does not sound fair. 9 copies of Needlebug's Nest does not sound fair. 9 copies of Morella does not sound fair. So yeah, and a lot of your traps are chainable. Like, all these are chainable. Karma Cannon is chainable. Needlebug is chainable. All the Paleos are chainable. So you can just chain a trap that you're trying to pop anyway. So this doesn't like go neg. It always just gets free value, free real estate. So I really like Trapaholic, and obviously Trap Trick. Everyone knows about this card already. This card has been out for way too long, so obviously you know this card's broken. And that's for the main deck. 60 cards. Beautiful 60 cards. I would not change a single card in this deck. I've been testing this deck for a long time, and yeah, the main deck is literally perfect. Now the extra deck. I'm sorry to inform you that this is not a part of my extra deck, because as you'll see in the main deck, I did not play any King of the Swamp, so I have no way to summon this. This is just tokens and a field center. But for the actual extra deck, 1 Kaleido Heart. This card's really good as a boss monster. Shuffles cards back, which is really good. You can make it on your turn, your opponent's turn, and use that effect. But whenever you do pop it, you just get free value out of it too. Just dumping a tier card, summoning it back. It's just crazy, so yeah, definitely got to play that. 1 Mud Dragon. This card comes up a lot, actually, but not in ways that you think. So the rank 4 I play is Exciton, so it comes up for that to access Fiendsmith lines, so that you don't even need Moon in this deck because you have Exciton now. So you can use your Rhino Hearts to make this, and then overlay those into Exciton, and then get your access to Fiendsmith that way, which is really nice. Or use Chain Rain and then Rhino Heart normal, and overlay those 2 to get access to your Exciton that way. So Mud Dragon comes up for that. But in general, it's a really solid card to play around. And permanence, SP Little Knight, anything that just targets. So, because your Rhino Heart is water, this is water, your Tearlaments, damn, I can't even think of the name. What is that card called? Yo. Tearlaments Castira. God damn. Brain farted a little bit there. Yeah, your Tearlaments Castira is also water. And if you have Field Spell up, this is 24. Rhino Heart's 2,000. Tier Cash is 28. So you can do a lot of damage with that too. So I like the Mud Dragon for that, for protecting your board. 1 Dragus Lepelia comes up as just a free negate that you make usually on your opponent's turn. Usually don't end on this, but you can. But it's nice free real estate for whenever you have like a fusion in the grave, you make this. And it comes up with like putting back a Necroquip too. And then the 1 Winda as the last fusion for that you can make with the tier cards. This is like the tier part of the deck, tier part of the extra deck. So yeah, this card's insane. Yeah, the fact that 1 Engraver makes this is just crazy. So you definitely have to play this card, and I'll show you that when I go through the whole deck, like what the line really is, because maybe I explained it like a little bit weird to you, but yeah, the fact that 1 Engraver equals this plus mills is just insane, so you have to play it. And then for the links, 1 SP, gotta play that. This card's one of your best board breaker cards. I don't play Typhon in this deck, so you usually go into SP a lot to break boards. Really good card. 1 Sprint to access your Merly, to get you that extra fusion summon. Obviously really strong. But also the bounce effect comes up too, because you do play Toad, and you have no like frogs in the deck to detach with Toad, so you can use the bounce effect with this, detach materials off Toad, which is nice as well. Speaking of Toad, I play the Toad, obviously. You gotta play that guy. This is the guy usually side out going second for some side out cards, as you'll see later. But yeah, this card, whenever you make it, is usually just game. The fact that it negates, it takes, and it adds you back a water, so like Tearlaments Rhino Heart for follow, or Tearlaments Castira to keep playing on your opponent's turn is just crazy. So Toad is broken. Exciton, like I said, this card comes up to crack boards going second, but in general, access your Fiendsmith engine. So this card comes up a lot, actually. Really good. You don't need Moon anymore because you have that. And then one Reaper. This you need for the Mill 5 combo with the Engraver. If you don't want to go for a window instead, you'd rather just Mill 5. You definitely need that still. And then the Requiem, the Sequence for the Fiendsmith stuff, the Necroquip, the Aerial Eater. I'll show you the combo with this, but Aerial Eater is good because it has 3 targets in this deck. It has Shayama, it has Backjack, and it has the Hail Shaddoll. So, really good card. And then the Lacrima. This comes up for when you draw multiple Fiendsmith cards, but it also comes up to OTK your opponent with Tract. So you definitely need Lacrima in this deck. And one Desiree as another boss monster for the deck. That also you can use to crack boards and abuse with Paradise, obviously. That's for the extra deck. The side deck. There's only 2 cards in here that are flex spots. I think all the other cards that I showed you are mandatory. But 2 cards in the side deck are flex spots, and I'll explain why. So for the side deck, I played 3 Perulia. This is the only hand trap that I play in the deck. And this is the best hand trap for this deck because it's an Aqua. So this is why I only play this one and not like Fulos or something like that. Or like any of the other ones. Because this one's just the best one since it's an Aqua. And it's also level 4, which does come up to an Exciton to access your Fiendsmith lines. But the main reason is because it's the Aqua, so it's a good mill in this deck. And this card helps you draw into your other board breakers, which are 3 Raspier mode. In this deck, you don't need your normal summon to combo. You can combo your Fiendsmith Engine, you can combo with Sharon, you can combo with your trap card. So like, you don't need your normal summon in this deck to win the game. So this card is just free. But I also played 3 Super Poly as well. These are just like the best board breakers for this deck to play. Because like I said, you don't need your normal in this deck. And the discard actually helps you in this deck. Because you have like cards like Rollback you can discard. You can discard a tier card to make your Cash tier alive. There's a lot of cards you can discard in this deck. So Super Poly is really good. Those are like the main 3 cards I use to just break any board or like go second with. They're just the best generic ones against anything. And then the targets for it, the main targets for it, I play with these 3. This for Malice, obviously. This for like Draco Tail or Branded. And this in general for like Mr. Rugi, stuff like that. They all come up. Whenever any of them are good, you side it in with Super Poly. And I take out Toad when I side in Super Poly. Because Toad is harder to make going second usually. So you don't need that card. You just side in one of these for Toad. And it's fine. I used to side out Lacrima. And that was a mistake. Because Lacrima actually comes up when you draw multiple Fiendsmith cards. But Toad just barely ever came up. So that's why I started siding out Toad instead for one of the targets. And then the last mandatory card is the FTK. This is the beauty about this version of the deck, is that you have an FTK option. This card is just unfair that this deck can play it post-side deck. So whenever you go first, post-side, you should be able to just auto-win because you have this, you have Winda, you have so many win conditions. So, but this on top of your whole end board is just ridiculous. So yeah, the FTK card is just unfair for this deck. And then the last 2 flex spots that I play are 1 Gnomes and another Super Poly target. So I play this just in case I run into like Dragon Mate Draco Tail, because like I have ran into it and it's just really annoying when they make this on me. So I just Super Poly it away and make my own. That's the idea. But this card can be changed for whatever you want. And same thing with this. It's just another good send off of Morella, another good like mill trap, another good graveyard effect for traps. So that's why I played it. But these cards are cuttable easily. You can play whatever you want in these slots. But other than that, that is the deck profile. And let me show you what I was talking about with the Fiendsmith Engraver equaling 1 card Winda. So you have Engraver. Use the effect. Get Tracked. Tracked. Get Larry. Discard it. Effect. Summon back. Link. Requiem. Effect. Summon Lacrima. Lacrima. Dump Engraver. Oh, focus. Engraver. Shuffle back. Flurry. Fuse these 2. Link those 2. Sequence. Sequence effect. Now you fuse the double Engraver into Aerial Eater. Aerial Eater effect. You dump the Hail Shaddoll here. And like I said, you usually mill 2 if you're going first, but if you're going second, you can mill more. But you mill 2 cards, doesn't matter what you mill, because you link those into Sprint, dump them early, and then you use Merly to fuse with that and this into the window. And you have window plus mills off of 1 engraver. That's way too strong for this deck. And you have still this for in the graveyard. So Lacrima could summon either Sequence or Requiem on your opponent's turn, which is crazy. So you still have a ton of follow-up with off of that 1 card too. So yeah. That combination is just way too strong for this deck. Because you have traps to like protect the window. Like it's better to protect the window with trap cards than monster effects, because they can interact with monster effects in this format much easier than they can interact with spells and traps. So yeah, this card is too strong. And that is it for the deck profile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh content. Later this week, I'll have a Edison deck list. The Edison goo I've been cooking up. So stay tuned for that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that thumbnail too. ChatGPT hooked me up. Shout out ChatGPT. But anyway, it's your boy APJ signing out. Doses!